Hey guys, welcome back to Vibrations and Libations. I'm James.
I'm Keith.
And we have Waz again here with us for another episode. And yeah, am I in the way of Jerry over here?
Yeah.
I can't lean over the whole video, but this is the guy who painted our Jerry Garcia painting here for us. So once again, thanks for that. I appreciate it. I love it. I love it. Tonight we're going to be drinking some, well, this is straight bourbon whiskey from Tennessee. So I guess the bourbon rules have laxed a little bit, because used to I thought bourbon had to be made in Kentucky.
Yeah, Kentucky water.
Well, when we did the first bourbon on our show, we discovered that the rules are not such that it has to be made in Kentucky. Just
how it's made.
Just how it's made.
Right.
50% corn, more than 50% corn, and then new oak barrels.
New oak barrels,
new
right.
char oak barrels.
And then the old ones, they make scotch.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I think Wild Turkey, I don't know if they still do or not, but Wild Turkey used to send their used barrels overseas, and they would put Jameson whiskey in those and age Jameson whiskey in old Wild Turkey barrels. So I guess back in the day, if you had Jameson, if they still do it, then if you're drinking Jameson, you're drinking a little bit of Wild Turkey, because I'm sure some of that's bleeding over into it.
Yeah.
Did you say the name?
I did not say the name. The name is S.E. Callahan's, and this is, it says it's hand bottled in Jonesboro, Tennessee by Tennessee Hills Distillery. So Waz is a fan of the bourbon, and Keith and I are both fans of the bourbon.
Just don't know where Jonestown.
Jonestown? Well, it's Jonesboro. But
okay.
we're not drinking Kool-Aid for Jonestown, so if we start doing that, the channel's gone way off kilter. But anyway, so tonight, if you're able to listen to this and you can hear it, it's Dr. John the Night Tripper. And what's the name of the album, Keith?
You're going to make
I'm
me
going to
say
make you say it, yes.
Gris-Gris.
Gris-Gris is the name of the album.
Gris-Gris, Gris-Gris.
Depends where you're from.
Right.
I guess so, yeah.
If you're from New Orleans, it's Gris-Gris, because that's how Dr. John pronounces it.
Right, right.
This is the first official album on a real record label on Atco Records, 68.
Right, 1968 is when this was released, and this was the first out of 4 albums that he went under the persona or the name Dr. John the Night Tripper. Right. So as we were talking about doing a Dr. John album, I kept looking, and I was like, okay, well, let's do the Night Tripper. And I was like, wait a minute, there's all kinds of albums that have Night Tripper on it, so I didn't know that was what he went by. I didn't know he went by the Night Tripper. I thought the Night Tripper was the name of the album when I first started listening to all this stuff. And then as I learned, that's his stage name.
We have 3 out of the 4 here. Yeah, we're listening to 1.
Yeah, Waz brought an extensive collection of records over for us to listen to before we started this video. If I can reach this without knocking anything over. This was, what was this one?
The last one.
Okay, so this is the last out of the 4. It is Dr. John the Night Tripper, The Sun, Moon, and Herbs.
Mick Jagger and Eric Clapton play on that.
Sweet.
So you can't buy that album at Walmart either.
You cannot buy this album at Walmart. I'm sure you cannot.
Because it's got boobies on it.
Another record with boobies on it, so I don't get the light right on that.
And the kids away.
We must have a thing with records with boobies on it, because
I'll have to bring Boxer. the band Boxer's got a naked woman on the cover.
Hey, we're all for that. So we have a thing with boobies on the album, because we did Electric Ladyland, which had an album cover version with
English
nude women on it. And then we did, the last album that we did was the Flaming Lips remake version, however you want to say it, of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which had artist rendition of boobies on the front, inside, whatever it was.
I have Flaming Lips doing Dark Side of the Moon.
Oh yes, that's
on
a
clear
good
vinyl.
Yeah, I don't have that album, but I have listened to that.
Good.
That's good stuff. All right, so I'm gonna get some ice here, and I guess we might as well just go ahead and start drinking some stuff here.
You want to pour your own, or you want like me to pour it?
You can pour it. It's in your hand.
Tell me when.
When?
That's enough.
Okay, so I'll talk a little bit about the whiskey here, the straight bourbon as it's called here. My brother gave this to me for Christmas, and as I started reading on the back of it, I have to say I was a little apprehensive, because I read that it's only aged for 2 years. And I was like, that's probably going to burn. It's probably going to just, you know, be really rough on the palate, but it actually was not. And I was pleasantly surprised that it's as smooth as it is. As you can see, Keith and I have...
It smells strong, you know, like it's going to burn.
It does smell like it's going to burn. Whoop. Maybe I've had too many. Yeah. Jumping ship there. So what do you think about that, Waz?
It's not bad.
It's not bad,
It's not bad at all. It's pretty nice. It's smooth.
It is smooth. I can just take a big gulp of this if I want to, you know, and just
That's not
you
bad
know,
at
let
all.
it go down. So again, it's aged 2 years and doesn't have the burn, not the bitter bite, the grab you by the throat and just choke you out kind of burn that I thought that it would have with only being aged 2 years. So
it has really good flavor too. It's not just one-dimensional wood flavor that a lot of bourbon you get with a lot of bourbons. You know, it's kind of got some sweet notes to it, and like I don't know, almost maple.
It's sweet. Yeah, it's got some sweety maple, maybe some caramely kind of taste in there to it.
It's good.
Do you need a mixer for it?
I always prefer ginger with my whiskey. Makes it last longer.
Luckily, we have the old standby here at my house, Canada Dry, for bourbon drinking. I prefer. Maybe I have had too many to drink tonight. I personally prefer Canada Dry. I'll also, if I'm feeling froggery. Damn! If I'm feeling froggy, I will also mix it with Dr. Pepper. I like bourbon and Dr. Pepper together.
I've never had bourbon and Dr. Pepper.
You should try it out.
But I have had bourbon and orange juice.
Yeah?
Ooh, it's really good.
That does sound
good in the morning. It's a good wake up.
I like whiskey sour.
Wake up, huh?
Nobody has to know.
I like whiskey sour.
It's like a tequila sunrise. You know, it's a whiskey sunrise.
Yeah.
And add a little grenadine, and you really confuse everything.
Okay, so Waz, what can you tell us about Dr. John? When did you first start listening to Dr. John?
Wow. Probably one of those trips I used to take. I discovered Dr. John, and I like the name, the Night Tripper. So it's just all his music. It's good tripping music. Perfectly honest.
And I can see that
it's nice and mellow. I mean, it'll bring you somewhere.
Right.
Yeah. It'll bring you up. It'll bring you down. It'll mellow you out, and then you can realize after all it's just a drug and it's not a big deal. And then mellow down easy.
Music is a drug.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. Music is a drug. So
this album, I like music, and when it can really grip you and take you to that place. I can just see it. I can see him in the midst of this album, and you know, I just picture being out in the bayou. And
this is a great headphone album.
Oh yeah, I bet it is. Yeah,
just headphones. Sit down in the dark, maybe just a very low light on, and just relax.
Yeah,
it's just perfect headphone music. But all his first 4 albums are all like this. I mean, just you think you're out in the bayou.
Yeah. Keith and I were discussing. It's like it's a really authentic record. It was the best word that he described it. That Keith described it as. It's authentic. I kind of feel like maybe there's some kind of curse on me right now just by listening to it.
I mean, I believe in the power of voodoo with this, and to me, listening to this, you know, the backing vocals on it, you know, you got Dr. John there, but you cannot convince me that he has not conjured the backing vocalists, because they don't sound like they're in the same place as him. They just, it just sounds, it's just so different. It's not out of place,
right?
But it just sounds like that these guys are speaking from the astral plane.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, absolutely.
They probably are.
They may.
I almost brought my voodoo doll.
You should have brought it.
Maybe not. Maybe it'd be working.
Yeah.
Who is it? Who is your voodoo doll?
Not going to say?
No.
Who do you have power over, Waz?
We only have like 30 or 40 people watching this on a regular basis, so chances are that person's not going to see it.
No, they won't see it. They will not see it.
So what was, with your experience here, I'll ask you a good question, I think. What was Dr. John's perception by the public whenever he came out and released these records? Like, was he like mainstream, kind of popular, or was it kind of underground
he didn't
stuff?
get mainstream until must have been the right place, the wrong time.
Yeah,
That
right.
was what, late 70s, mid 70s,
Mid-70s.
mid 70s.
Yeah. So that was
So in 60, he was
like
like
74 or
he
something.
was more a cult figure, you know, more like Peter Gabriel, you know.
Sure.
You're either a Peter Gabriel fan or you're a Phil Collins fan.
Yeah.
You know, you don't like both.
Yeah.
But most people can understand that because they're either Peter Gabriel
right.
Phil Collins.
Yeah.
And until I started listening to the really old Genesis,
You only knew
right? And
of the pop.
and I'm like, Genesis was the bomb.
Were.
Yes,
So
back in the day.
you're gonna have to listen to that one live album that I have. I should have brought that with me. That'll be
James
another
doesn't
day.
like
I know.
Genesis live.
No. This is live. This is where Peter disappeared
Yeah,
and came up, and he was a giant slipper man, or he's a flower,
Right.
a flower. He just had this box on stage, and he'd just bend down, and he'd be somebody else
Right.
acting out.
we need to beat James in the head with that album some more.
guess
and
so,
Get him to
yeah.
listen to it
Yeah,
the
I
right
guess
frame
so.
of mind
He
or
just has-
something.
yeah.
Yeah, the right frame of mind. That's what I need to be in, right? So after Dr. John dropped the Night Tripper, you think he went more poppy?
Yes,
then?
he went
more mainstream.
When he dropped the Night Tripper, more people started getting into him, started listening to him. Night
Right.
Tripper's kind of scary, especially the way he was dressed. But
Yeah, right.
But he kind of went back into this. He's calling himself the Night Tripper again,
Yeah.
and he's going back into his old voodoo ways,
Right.
Mardi Gras, whatever you want to call it, you know.
Yeah, he's definitely more outrageous dressing in his persona and his on-stage appearance and, and performance appearance.
But then you also see him like as Max Riddenback, where he's just in a suit.
Toned down, right.
He's just in a suit. Depends who he wants to be.
Yeah. So if you've ever watched the Last Waltz, watched that whole concert, and you've seen Dr. John on that as he comes on, great performance on that. But he's toned down. He's got a beret on, some not real big, but some
He's got
glasses,
that real long
and,
ponytail in the back.
And so I mean, it kind of tone it down versus some of the attire that he wears in his earlier days here. So. Maybe that's a stage he went through. I don't know, but
I don't think so. I think it's always been there.
I think it's always been there.
I just think he needed to make money.
Well, that's possible too. So
Kind of like, all right, Fleetwood Mac. Fleetwood Mac, before the ladies, they were an all-out blues band.
yeah, right.
Then the ladies joined and they started doing pop music, and that didn't make them a better band. They made more money. They made a lot more money. It didn't make them a better band. I prefer the old Fleetwood Mac. But now they're multi-billionaires or whatever,
I guess you got to support your habit, so to speak. And their habit is making music.
Money,
Yeah, so you make the money, and then it affords you the lifestyle to be as creative as you want to be.
Right.
And Chris Robinson has said it several times.
Yeah.
The Black Crowes. I'm thankful for that life because it provides for my life now, and I'm fortunate to be able to do the things that I do because of that.
Right.
He likes where he's at now.
I don't have any Black Crows. Not one.
You should get some Black Crows.
And I
That's
don't have
great.
any Chris Robinson.
Oh, you need some Chris Robinson.
I don't have either of them.
Oh, you need some Chris Robinson.
But I did see one Jimmy Page and Chris, was it Black Crowes?
The Black Crowes,
and
yeah.
Jimmy
Page, I
yeah.
saw that just recently.
Right, doing the Led Zeppelin?
Yeah.
Oh, it's great. I got that album.
Yeah. Okay, so all right, let's talk about the whiskey here a little bit. We all tasted it just straight without any mixer. I think Keith is still straight. I put some mixer in mine. Waz put some in his. So we both agreed, or all three of us agreed, that we liked it. It had a good taste. It wasn't a burning kind of whiskey.
No, not at all.
I mean, I've even had bourbon that's been aged longer than 2 years and burn.
That hurts. Yeah.
So
putting the tear to the eye.
yeah. So
we're ready for
that
it.
begs the question: Is there some kind of special way that they're aging this for only 2 years to not make it burn? Is it a chemical thing? Is
Probably
it
an environment.
Think so?
I think it's where they got it stored or something.
Yeah.
Maybe they got air conditioning in there.
So I would, this is new, right? I mean, this is their 5th batch of this, and
right?
so I just wonder, Or in a few years, are they going to have, you know, 4-year-old?
4-year-old, 12-year-old.
Right.
Reserve.
So we're going to have to revisit them in a few years.
Yeah.
If we're still doing these videos, James.
I'm going to revisit them right now, just in case, you know, we're not still doing this video. So
list the tracks while you're over there, James.
You got them.
Okay, so the first track is Gris-Gris Gumbo Yaya.
Yeah.
That's it.
And then Dance Kalinda Badoom. Mama, how do you say that? Mama Roo?
Yeah.
Mama
Okay.
Ro.
He's practiced.
I don't have a lot of Creole French experience here. Dance Fambo, I guess is how that's pronounced. And then the second side is Croaker. The second side is Croaker Court Bouillon.
Yeah.
Food.
Jump Sturdy, and my favorite track on the album is I Walk on Gilded Splinters.
That is a good track.
And Humble Pie on Humble Pie Live, they do a good cover of it. It's like it's 24 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
One whole side
That's
of the
awesome.
record. It's a little different. At first you don't recognize it, but
wow.
then it comes out.
I'd love to hear that.
I almost brought it, but it's on the turntable.
Yeah.
I was listening to it.
Another kind of weird, crazy fact that Keith and I were discussing before we started this video was that Dr. John was used as an inspiration, and Dr. Hook, you said, was used as an inspiration for the Dr. Teeth Muppet from the old Muppet Show.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's definitely Dr. John.
Yeah. And then also
Dwayne Allman is in there too.
Yeah, Dwayne Allman, the guitar player with the straight blonde hair.
Yeah.
And then Animal, the drummer in the Muppet Band, was inspired by Mick Fleetwood. I can't talk. I've had way too much to drink here about the smell and
He
everything.
almost lost his drink.
Everybody's always wanting us to get drunk. Well, James is there.
This is the night. Cheers, everybody. I'm there. So a few of, I don't have one here, but a few Coors Banquets and some bourbon will get me nice and toasty.
Well, it's all right because James is at home.
I'm at home. The other two, they have to drive. Waz here has to drive a considerable distance away, but
Yeah, I got lost in the boondocks.
he got lost in the backwoods of Kentucky here.
I definitely passed some houses that look like they're in Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 50.
Right. So we'll pause here for just a second. We'll flip this side over and we'll do side two, and we'll start with Croaker Court Bouillon, I guess is how you pronounce that. And I'll have some stuff to say about that song whenever we come back.
We'll just get a t-shirt painted.
Yeah. And we're back.
And we're still listening to Dr. John here. And this song, again, I'm going to probably murder the pronunciation of this song, but Croaker Court Bouillon. And I think
It's a bowl of soup.
Yes.
yeah, like beef bouillon or something like that. This is my second favorite song on the album. It reminds me a lot of something that would be on Pink Floyd's More. I don't know if you've ever listened to that or not. But it's kind of a trippy, mostly just instrumental kind of go at what they're doing there.
Sorry, but after this, the video, we're going to have to listen to one of the other.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We'll listen to some more Dr. John after this, but you guys probably won't be able to see that because
You're not coming with us on that.
yeah, you're not here.
No.
If you'd like to join a
do have
live
a magic
studio
carpet.
audience,
Yeah, we do have a magic carpet out there.
Maybe we'll do a live feed. Who knows?
we could do that. We could have an audience here. If you'd like to come join us here in our humble home and in my bar, we can set that up. And
I think we got
as long
room,
as my wife's not
we
here,
got room for 100, so don't worry. We got 100
least.
people.
maybe.
101. Bring some wild turkey with you.
Yes. Yeah. 101. Bring wild turkey. Bring your own beer. Whatever.
Actually, that would be kind of cool.
it would be.
A live little thing, questions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be kind of neat.
Yeah. You'd be perfect for that because you'd probably be able to answer a lot more questions than we would be able
Right.
to.
We'll just
depends
sit
on-
here and say,
It all depends on what condition my condition's in.
What condition your condition's in. That's great.
maybe when
I
KO's
remember.
ready to drive.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's why Waz's wife is KO, by the way.
And okay backwards
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Hey, I like that. Okay, backwards.
or knockout.
I always thought it was knockout because she probably got the name KO from, keeping you in line.
Or from being
No.
a hottie.
That too.
Yeah, too. Yeah.
Came from a mom.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All
That's
right.
her initials.
KO. Okay. Her middle name Olivia.
Nope. That's not
okay.
her middle name. That's her first and last.
First. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Her other two sisters are KO too. But only one goes by it, the eldest.
All right. So the whiskey, would you, if you saw that on the shelf, would you buy that?
I would.
At a reasonable price. What
Yes.
would you? I don't know how much this whiskey cost. Well, again, I got it for a Christmas present from my brother.
That means it's expensive.
Well, maybe.
No, Christmas presents always. That's the only time I get really
Splurge.
nice. Yes.
Yeah,
it's,
yeah.
Christmas, New Year, you know, that
Yeah.
sort of
Is it
thing.
your brother?
My brother bought this for me. Yes.
And Jen's brother don't like him, so he didn't spend a lot of money. I'm just
Well, he
kidding.
did buy me a bottle of Blanton's a couple years back, so that was a pretty penny on that. So, so what do you think, without knowing the price of it, because I don't know the price of it either? What would you spend on that? What would you splurge on that?
That's a $30 bottle right there.
Yeah.
You think so?
Yeah.
I would agree. Probably a $30 bottle. Now we're probably way off on that. I have no clue, but
That's why I buy the $15 bottle, and they're twice the size.
so what do you like to drink? What do you drink as far as bourbon or whiskey or
Well,
anything goes?
no, because of the amount I drink, I'll have to get a bigger bottle and
Right.
spend less. I have to get not top shelf. I'll get the
Right.
bottom shelf,
Sure.
and that's fine with me. Because if I'm going to mix it with ginger, it's okay. Because I'm not going to do shots.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to, you know, when you get bottom shelf, that's going to hurt you.
That's good.
It's going to hurt you. So,
Well, Keith and I are both not.
but I do like, you know, top shelf. I mean,
Sure.
those are the ones I prefer, but
Right.
I can't afford them.
Right. Who
Right.
can?
Yeah.
That's the whole problem.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's and you know, depending on the place that you go, in my experience, a top shelf in one place may be a middle or
Somewhere
you
else,
know,
yes.
so it may be a different. So, you know, just because something's on top shelf doesn't necessarily mean it's the best bourbon or the best whiskey out there.
It's probably the best selling one there.
You're probably the best selling one there, right? But I've found stuff before that I've spent $40 or $50 on and liked, and I've found stuff that I've spent $25 on and liked more.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so
And when I
You
go
know-
out, whenever we go out, the wife and I never. You can't afford a drink.
no, you can't afford a drink in a restaurant or
beer.
a bar
That's it.
or
I'll
anything
go
like that.
get
Yeah.
a beer.
Yeah.
Go out. That's it.
I agree, because I mean, you know, of course they're there to make money and everything at a restaurant, so they're going to charge you twice or triple the
Right.
amount for a shot at a lot of places.
Yes.
You know,
So I will not. Only beer.
Yeah.
You might as well get a beer when you go out because it's the same price for a Coke.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. A
true.
lot of times that's true.
That's where they make their real money. Everybody thinks they're making their money on the alcohol. It's the
Coke.
the Coke.
Yeah, yeah, because it's like it's pennies on the dollar to make a glass of Coke or
Soft
a tea, you know,
Yeah, it's
something like
tap
that.
Beer.
Yeah,
Same thing, tap beer.
Yeah.
Unless it's craft tap beer, then forget it.
Yeah.
And it's $10 a glass. So I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had a few of those, but I was glad that I spent the money on it. So, all right, so
Unless it was Purple Haze.
Purple
Oh,
Haze.
yes, Purple Haze. Hey, Waz actually watches the show.
Hey, yeah, there you go.
Of course I do.
All right, so we've talked about the whiskey. We've talked about the album. What else do we have to talk about on either one of these? Any other questions for the master here?
I got a
Waz?
little tidbit of
Information.
trivia
Okay,
here.
all right, let's hear it.
Dr. John, I can't remember what number, but it was like 100 and something on Rolling Stone's 500 greatest albums of all time. Dr. John, the Night Tripper, Gris-Gris was on. He's like
145 or
something.
135,
It's
something like
just
that.
an amazing debut. I
Yeah.
mean, how many,
Yeah.
you know, usually when I buy records, I'll buy the first issue. The first one, I'll skip the second release
Right.
and I'll buy the third because the second release is usually the leftover from
From the first one, yeah.
So if they really want to make it, the third album's going to kick ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'll end up getting the second one later on down the line,
To
or whatever.
complete the set.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will always try to get the first and third.
You know, you're right. And
That's when you know if they're going to be good.
yeah, and I don't know, just kind of, I guess, related to that in a way. I know that back in the day when records were the only media, you know, you had before cassettes, before 8-track stuff, you had an A side and a B side.
That's
you know?
it.
In which on cassettes you had an A side and B side also. But the more popular, more trendy songs that they thought would sell more were always an A side on a 45,
Yep.
and then they would have something obscure on a B side.
And those are the ones that end up worth money.
And you know, those are the
B-sides.
The B-sides
Yeah,
are
yeah.
the things I like most of all on a lot of records.
I try not to listen to top 40 bands.
Sure, yeah.
I kind of try
well,
to go.
especially nowadays.
Well, now I don't listen to anything.
Oh man.
No, but I
40,
always
you
try to
can't
go.
even.
Yeah, I always try to go for that obscure band.
Yeah.
Doing something different, you know, a little off the beaten track. And then it turned out that they are the most exciting music
Sure.
out there.
Right.
But they don't get big audiences.
Yeah.
Like Dr. John didn't have an audience till the mid-70s.
Right.
With that top 40 hit.
Yeah, and I'm kind of like that too. I like a lot of obscure stuff that doesn't get a lot of radio play, and you know, it's kind of sad that people sitting up in an office are going to decide what gets played on the
Right.
radio, even from years back.
Yes,
You know?
always. You have
And,
to pay off the DJ to get
right.
the music played.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I'm a big advocate of if you've seen something and you've never heard of it before, and you know, if it's got a cool cover on it, buy it.
Right.
Because
That's how I
mean,
bought the Van Halen first album. I bought that because I thought it was pretty wild. This guy
Yeah.
bent over backwards. Like,
yeah,
they must be pretty good because I
Yeah.
never heard of them. And I bought that first album.
right.
That was great album.
Chances are, if you like that top 40 song back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
then that's going to get your foot in the door, and you're going to have your mind blown.
Yeah.
You know that's the way it used to be.
Right.
You know, they had those top 40 tracks, and you know some top 40 tracks are amazing from back
Sure.
in the day, but. You get your foot in the door with that, and then you start listening to those B-sides
Yeah.
and things, and you're like, oh my god.
Yeah,
look
because you discover more of what a band can do
Right.
musically
You're getting in
and
the
their talent.
You're getting in the meat of it then.
Yeah, because a lot of those B-sides, in my opinion, are more musically detailed, more technical, I guess you could say. You know,
More
because
explored.
more explored. Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, I'm
Okay.
drifting to the music.
Hey, you know, this album is a great album. If you like some R&B and some trippy kind of psychedelic stuff, and if you just like a smooth voice, Keith and I were talking. Dr. John's probably got one of the smoothest voices that's ever been on
Even though it's
recording.
like this.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I
Even
mean,
though it's grizzled, it is just so.
Yeah.
It's like bourbon.
Yeah, it's an even
Yes.
tone. You know, it's just,
yeah.
it's a soothing voice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This,
it is.
This album is somewhere in the smoke of a wooden shack. You know,
Yeah, with barbecue cooking chicken.
Yeah,
sure,
that- There's definite food in the air and the smoke. That's where this album, the music lies.
Yeah.
This isn't. It's not terrestrial at all.
Right.
It is not part of the ground. It is out there.
What he said.
That's a good description right
Right.
there. That's a good description.
I mean, just listen to those backup singers, man. They're not from this world,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
No, they're aliens.
All right. Well, okay. So let's to run on the time limit here. Let's rate the bourbon, and let's think of it from just the straight shot. So,
Oh, yeah, I'd give
what's your 1 out of 5, Keith? What's yours?
That's 5 out of 5.
Yeah,
5 out of 5.
Definitely
5 out of 5. I agree. I think it's 5 out of 5, even with the 2 years of age,
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
very
all it is.
smooth.
I love it.
I mean, it's not drinking rubbing alcohol like you know, some gut rot that I've had before in the past.
Yeah, I
It's,
can't believe for only 2 years old,
Yeah.
it's as well refined as it is.
Yeah. Okay, so 5 out of 5 for all three of us here. Okay, so the album, Gris-Gris. What do you rate it, Keith?
So when I first listened to this album, I would have given it. I was thinking of it more of like a 3. And why I was thinking a 3 was because, you know, I thought I had to be in the right frame of mind to listen to it. But then the more I listen to it, I've listened to it about 4 times, 5 now since we've been
Yeah.
doing the video.
Yeah.
And every time it's grown on me more and more. And I give it a 5 out of 5. It is just amazing, gripping.
Yeah.
It just takes you there. This album you don't have to be in the right frame of mind because it's going to grab a hold of you and pull you to the right frame of mind.
Right. And I think that the music from this era, the 60s into the early 70s, had that effect.
Oh, yes.
And then somewhere around maybe the disco age or whatever, popular music.
Scary. That was scary.
Popular music just kind of went like, and there's still good music in that era. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't. I don't think, and I wasn't conscious back then in that time. Maybe you can disagree with this, and if you do, that's fine. But it's like the popular music era just went completely south.
Yes, it did.
More materialistic, more just kind of let's just get it on radio and play, and not as organic.
Knock it out, knock it out. Let's make a buck, and screw the musician. You record that,
right?
Yeah.
So you rate this album out of 5?
Oh, definitely a 5.
A 5 out of 5. Okay.
Definitely, yes.
Your favorite Dr. John album that you have, or there's others that you like more?
This is one of them. No, actually, the other two that I brought, they're all in that top category of Dr. John. Besides, well, Right Place, Wrong Time. It's got a great cover. That's okay. That was his only real hit, really.
Right.
You know, I mean, I'm sure he's got a lot of hits in New Orleans.
Oh, sure.
Or New Orleans, whatever you call it.
Yeah, New Orleans.
Yeah, whatever it's called. Kind of like Louisville.
Yeah.
Which is actually pronounced Louisville.
Yeah.
Louisville.
Yeah.
Around here.
We don't have. I don't have marbles in my mouth.
Okay, so as far as the album goes, I will also rate it a 5 out of 5. I have several Dr. John albums. I have a live album. I have
Hallowed Be Thy Name. You have the one, and you have that.
Yeah, that's the live album.
Hollywood Be Thy Name.
Hollywood Be Thy Name. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. I was going to say I still have the sleeve on it. But I have that. I also have The Brightest Smile in Town by Dr. John. That's a really good album. I'm not going to say there's a lot of hits on that album because there's not, but it's just a really good, solid, from start to finish album.
Here he's looking very subdued.
Yeah, he's got a beret going on. He's kind of, that's in his tone down. Yeah, it's kind of, a little bit. So
there he is.
Maybe he's in his making money kind of stage there. Then also have in the right place. Wrong. I can't ever remember the name of that album.
Don't worry.
Right Place, Wrong Time.
Yeah, it's got a more trippy looking album cover on it. Which and those are all good, and they have their place. Here we go. So Keith has got that.
It's a great album.
And this is a reissue, and it's got a really awesome multicolored vinyl to it. The record comes out kind of an odd way. I don't know if it does that on the original version or not. It comes out from the wrong side in the front or whatever. But yeah, it's probably one of the coolest album covers that I have.
It is amazing.
So it's a good album too. So if you've never listened to Dr. John, give Dr. John a listen. I think you'd like him.
Find him on YouTube.
Find him on YouTube
Whatever
for free.
Else does.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is a cool record. That's nice.
Yeah.
We're big advocates of looking up stuff on YouTube and Amazon Prime and Spotify and other places that stream music. If you've never listened to somebody, I don't blame you for not wanting to go out and spend $20-$30 on a record or something. Listen to them first, and then find out if you like them or not.
But if you do like them, go buy that shit.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and if you like whiskey, go buy some of this S.E. Callahan's whiskey right here. This is straight bourbon Distillers Select. So I don't know if this is out anywhere, if this is a Tennessee exclusive kind of deal. But I'm glad my brother got it for me.
Never looked for it. So
I've never looked for it either until he got it, and the places I've been to don't have it yet. So maybe they're just distributing around Tennessee. I'm not sure. Okay, so with all this being said, is there anything else you two would like to add?
No,
not at all. Peace out.
So for Vibrations and Libations, and for Dr. John, and for some Tennessee straight bourbon, it's kind of weird to say that instead of Kentucky straight bourbon. Yeah. But anyway, I'm James.
I'm Waz.
This is Waz.
He's not Keith.
He's Keith. So thanks for watching, guys, and until next time, keep drinking and keep listening to some music.
I had to jump in just because he's on the end.
Right.
And that's fine.
Hey, we're going in order.
Thanks, guys.
Age to beauty.
Age to beauty.